Hello, and welcome to another episode of Dr. Mercola's Cellular Wisdom, where we explore how to keep our bodies humming along at full capacity. I'm Ethan Foster, your resident observer of the human condition, forever pondering why people will spend a fortune on fancy steak dinners when there's a budget-friendly cut right under their noses.
And I'm Alara Sky, the sharp-witted health devotee who can't resist a good conversation about nutrient density, especially when it involves underappreciated cuts of meat. And boy, do we have some juicy revelations in store for you today.
Let's set the stage, shall we? Picture a dimly lit butcher shop. A man steps in, ignoring everything except the prime steaks. Little does he realize he's bypassing a real gem, the Shank. Our mission today is to shine a very bright, collagen-rich spotlight on this underrated cut.
It's true. There's a popular romance with steaks. Filet mignon, ribeye, sirloin. They're like the headliners in a big concert. But ironically, the Shank is brimming with amino acids that support joint health, skin elasticity, and even metabolic function.
I see. So the steak is the rock star, hogging all the applause. And the Shank, that's the quietly gifted backing vocalist. Always overshadowed, but essential to the harmony.
Precisely. And with a little culinary TLC, low and slow cooking, the Shank's collagen breaks down into gelatin. It's that gelatin which does wonders for your joints, bones, skin, and gut.
Let me try my hand at a pun here. You won't believe how much Shank goodness is out there, if you just give it time to simmer.
Delightfully cheesy, and I approve. But don't let the puns overshadow the reality. It's the abundance of collagen, specifically the amino acid glycine, that makes Shanks so unique.
Glycine, right? The unsung hero of the amino acid world. It's been labeled as conditionally essential, which basically means your body can produce some on its own, but not nearly enough for optimal health. Is that about right?
Spot on. And as we age, our natural collagen production starts to drop, while our need for collagen goes up. That's a recipe for a few unwelcome signs of aging: sagging skin, stiff joints, maybe even a bit of digestive discomfort. So, incorporating foods like Shanks can help bring balance back.
Shanks. Cheaper than a facelift, and tastier than fiber supplements. That could be a tagline.
It's got a nice ring. Maybe collagen, because wrinkles are optional and so is subpar steak. But moving on. We should clarify that collagen isn't only about beauty or vanity. It makes up around 30% of the protein mass in your body, and it's found in your skin, joints, bones, and teeth. So the structural benefits are huge.
Let's talk practicality. Most folks aren't sitting around chewing on raw collagen or bone chunks, unless that's your thing, in which case I have follow-up questions. Typically, people think bone broth is the only way to get a major collagen boost, right?
Yes, bone broth has gotten a lot of press. I'm all for a good broth. But if you're craving more variety, or maybe something that's not strictly liquid, Shanks are an amazing alternative. They're one of the highest gelatin to muscle meat ratios you can get from a cut of meat.
I like that. A high gelatin to muscle meat ratio. It sounds borderline scientific, like something that should come with a certificate and a gold star. But it's actually quite straightforward, correct?
Exactly. Shanks are from the lower leg portion, where there's a lot of connective tissue. Cooked low and slow, that connective tissue transforms into a silky gelatin that your body can easily absorb. It's about synergy. You're not just getting collagen in isolation, but also other nutrients like B vitamins and zinc, which help in the absorption and utilization of that collagen.
Synergy is a fancy way of saying it's a team sport.
Right. And the star player on that team is glycine. Another interesting fact: glycine helps regulate metabolism by assisting in the process that pulls unburned fuel out of your cells. So it's got a role in managing inflammation, in addition to helping tissues stay healthy.
Which leads us to the topic of balancing amino acids. This is often overlooked in modern diets. Many people love loading up on muscle meats, like that big juicy steak, but they miss the collagen piece of the puzzle.
Muscle meat is high in certain amino acids like methionine, cysteine, and tryptophan. Too much of these can tilt the balance, leading to inflammation or lowered thyroid function. Tryptophan, for instance, is the precursor to serotonin, which not everyone needs in surplus. Then, there's the research that says restricting methionine can improve metabolic health and longevity.
So, you're telling me that even in the realm of amino acids, there's such a thing as too much of a good thing?
Exactly. But there's a workaround. Add glycine back in. Basically, glycine can mimic the benefits of restricting methionine. Balanced is everything, so if you still love your steak, you can keep it. Just pair it with collagen-rich foods or incorporate some gelatin into your diet elsewhere in the day.
Now, you mentioned that historically, our ancestors understood this balance better than we do. They ate nose to tail, which included plenty of connective tissue and cartilage, right?
Yes, they did. Traditional diets across the globe regularly incorporated these cuts: Shanks, oxtail, tripe, you name it. It gave them a balanced amino acid profile. Fast forward to modern times, and we have a narrower focus: prime cuts only, minimal time for slow cooking, and a society that's losing out on the benefits of collagen.
Well, it's easier to toss a ribeye onto a grill than to braise a shank for hours. I get it. Convenience is king, but maybe it's time to dethrone the monarchy of fast-living steak lovers and introduce them to the succulent world of shanks.
Spoken like a true revolutionary. Now the good news is that shanks are generally more affordable than prime steak cuts, so you're likely saving money while gaining additional health perks. And braising a shank isn't rocket science. You just need patience. If you're a fan of more adventurous recipes, you can travel the globe with different cultural dishes. There's Italian ossobuco, Mexican caldo de res, Filipino bulalo, Indian nihari, Argentinian locro, just to name a few. Each recipe highlights the shank in a unique way.
It's like a culinary tour of the world, all starring that humble shank. I love it. And for folks who prefer lamb or pork, you've got Jordanian mansaf, Moroccan lamb tagine, Greek arnaki kleftiko, Polish galanka, Southern hoppin' john. Endless options, so no one can say shanks are boring.
Some of these recipes have stood the test of time for centuries. They're celebrating the original approach to cooking, where nothing got wasted, and flavor was built over slow heat. I find it fascinating that these old recipes are now scientifically validated for their nutritional value.
Right? And in case you're wondering where to find shanks, a local farmer is often the best bet. Sites like eatwild.com or localharvest.org can point you in the direction of farmers who might have them in stock. Shank lovers are a smaller but fiercely dedicated crowd.
You might even get a discount because shanks aren't always in high demand, though I suspect they'll gain popularity once more people catch on. To me, that's a win-win. You're supporting local agriculture and boosting your health at the same time.
Let's talk about the food-first approach. Too often people jump straight to supplements. But you've mentioned that obtaining collagen through whole foods can be superior because it comes with all those supporting micronutrients.
Exactly. I'm not anti-supplement, but there's a reason real food works so well. It's packaged with vitamins and minerals that synergize with the amino acids. When you ingest collagen in the context of something like Shanks, your body receives a broader array of nutrients, enhancing absorption and overall health benefits.
So basically, if you want to shank your way to better wellness, you do it by enjoying a hearty meal, not by swallowing a pill.
That's the gist. Some people swear by a daily collagen supplement, and that's their choice. But if you can get it from a balanced meal that also satisfies your taste buds, why not?
Let's pivot for a moment to the joint health component. We touched on it briefly, but I want to emphasize how significant that is. Joints are kind of the unsung heroes keeping us mobile.
Exactly. Cartilage is mostly collagen. Knees, hips, elbows, they need constant collagen regeneration to function well. Once you start squeaking, it might be too late. So I say, feed those joints before they become the squeaky wheel.
And as we mentioned, glycine also assists in reducing inflammation, especially if you're dealing with an imbalance from too much muscle meat. Essentially, it's like the referee that keeps the game fair.
Yes, a referee that also helps your metabolism. It's not just about structural benefits. Glycine helps with the redox state of cells by pulling excess electrons out, so you're optimizing energy production at a cellular level.
Now, what about gut health? A lot of people don't realize that collagen and gelatin can help maintain a healthy gut lining.
Indeed. Gelatin acts almost like spackle in your gut. It can help seal and soothe the intestinal lining, reducing discomfort and potentially helping with nutrient absorption. There's a reason bone broth has been a go-to remedy for digestive issues in many traditional cultures.
So, we've got improved skin, better joint health, potential metabolic perks, gut support. It's like a Swiss Army knife of nutritional benefits, all found in this homely-looking hunk of meat at the butcher counter.
Precisely. And it's versatile. You can do braises, stews, soups. Shanks can also be shredded after cooking if you're into tacos or sandwiches. You really don't need to limit yourself to traditional recipes.
But let's not forget that shanks require patience. You can't toss them on the grill for 5 minutes and expect a miracle. They need that gentle, slow cooking. So, the collagen transforms properly.
Right. If you're used to 15-minute meals, you'll need to shift gears. Think of it as a culinary meditation. A long, slow simmer can be therapeutic, plus your kitchen smells divine.
Or, if you're short on time during the week, try batch cooking. Make a big pot of shanks on a weekend, portion it out, and freeze or refrigerate for quick weekday meals. That's a convenient strategy for busy folks.
I do that often, especially when I'm juggling a full schedule. It's also a sneaky way to impress friends or family who assume you spent hours slaving over the stove.
Shanks are definitely an underrated powerhouse of flavor and nutrition.
That's the takeaway. People are always searching for the next superfood, but sometimes the real superfoods are quietly hanging out in the cooler at the butcher shop.
It's almost tragic how many times I've breezed past shanks, never thinking twice. I feel I owe them an apology.
You and many others. But hey, that's why we have conversations like these, to bring them into the spotlight. Now maybe people will say, wait a minute, that cut has the potential to transform my dinner and my health?
Consider that the moral of our story. Never judge a cut of meat by its price tag, or by the fact it's not plastered on every steakhouse billboard.
Absolutely. And if you find yourself hooked on the idea, I recommend exploring those global recipes we mentioned. Let the Shank take you on a journey around the world, one aromatic stew at a time.
Before we wrap up, let's reiterate the main points. Shanks are collagen-rich, loaded with glycine, and supply a more balanced amino acid profile than muscle meat alone. Collagen supports skin, joints, bones, gut health, and even metabolic function.
Right. And cooking Shanks slowly breaks down that tough collagen into bioavailable gelatin. Historically, cultures cherished these cuts for a reason. Unfortunately, modern diets have neglected them in favor of quick cooking steaks. But with the right approach, Shanks can be tender, delicious, and a game changer for health.
And you can probably pick them up for less money than the high-end steaks. Plus, you'll impress your friends at dinner parties. Oh, this old thing, just some braised lamb shank I threw together. Here, have a bite.
Exactly. And you'll be the talk of the town. People might even start asking for your secret cooking tips. Meanwhile, you'll know that you're also supporting your joints and overall well-being.
Look at us, Shank evangelists. Didn't see that coming, did you?
I have no regrets. If we can prevent just one person from tossing a Shank aside and buying another overpriced steak, I'd say we've done our job.
And I'd say that's a wrap for today's episode of Dr. Mercola's Cellular Wisdom. We've covered a lot of ground, from amino acid balances to global Shank recipes. I hope we've inspired a new wave of Shank-curious individuals.
I think we have. Remember, low and slow is the name of the game. Whether you're braising, stewing, or throwing it in a slow cooker, give the collagen time to do its thing. Your cells will thank you for it.
And your wallet might too. Thank you for joining us, everyone. We'll be back with more explorations into the world of natural health, where we shed light on practical wisdom you can use every day.
Until next time, don't forget to embrace the parts of the animal we often overlook. A balanced approach to protein can make a real difference in how you feel.
This has been Ethan Foster.
And Alara Sky, raising a toast to the Shank Renaissance.
Stay curious, folks, and thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you on the next episode of Dr. Mercola's Cellular Wisdom.
Happy braising, everyone, and remember, Shanks over steaks. Your cells will understand the difference.